Hi everyone, welcome to the Adobe Connect recorded session. Thanks for attending the session on Wednesday afternoon. This is just some tips and tricks on what we can do to use Adobe Connect to further engage the students and to make your lessons more interesting and engaging. Okay, so I'm just recording this in a Screencaster. You've used that software before. And you mightn't recognize this as a classic kind of Adobe Connect look because, of course, it just looks like my big head on the screen. But what I've done is just simply maximize the video stream. Okay, so normally we'd have that in the top right-hand corner, and I've maximized that to start the lesson. And that's might be a way that you would like to say a quick introduction to the students and then minimize that back down to the top right-hand corner of the screen. Just an aside, it does take a fair bit of data to keep your video going throughout the lesson. And if the students are finding that Adobe isn't being transferred very well to their location, you can stop that stream and it can assist the amount of data that actually goes down the line to those students. I think it's really worthwhile to do it at the beginning of the lesson though, just to engage the students. All right, so this is a pod, and we can move any of these pods around just like this. We can resize them and do whatever we like to them. So just click that and make it the normal size. I can also hide them, so the main sharing pod in the middle there, I can get rid of that one. I can put my, the video in there, or the attendees, or the chat, whatever you like, whatever actually works at the time. Okay, well, let's just find that share screen and pop it back there. So it's called Share 5. There it is. While we're on the share screen, you would have seen by now that you can actually share a document, which is probably the most common thing that people are doing at the moment, and often the document is in the form of a PowerPoint presentation. Well, the PowerPoint presentation, I find lately, even though I've used Adobe for some time, it doesn't load very quickly and can be a little bit clunky. So converting the PowerPoint presentation to a PDF can actually assist that and make it easy on Adobe, particularly when there's a lot of people using it. Sharing my screen just simply shares whatever I have on my desktop. And the whiteboard, we'll just have a quick look at the whiteboard now, is a great tool to use to engage the students, because if you give them privileges to use the drawing tool, then they can simply write answers or engage them by drawing things on the screen. The drawing tool is super easy with our Surface Pro, so I can simply tap that one, pick out the pen I want, work out the color I want, and then away we go. Okay, so that's a nice thick one, isn't it? We can change the thickness of that at any stage. So size, smaller. Okay, there it is. Change the color to something a bit red. Actually, that's not working out. Is it red, in fact, is what we're after. All right, and there it goes. I guess you would have played around with the whiteboard by now. The good thing about the whiteboard is you can have as many whiteboards as you like. You can just simply keep scrolling through. Some people have been using the whiteboard software as well, and you can use that by simply sharing your screen and have the whiteboard software going on the screen. The great thing about the whiteboard software is that it's just this never-ending scroll. And if you want to go, want to finish that at any stage, just simply press the stop sharing button. You can go back to your document and so on. Okay, so that's the share screen. Now, a couple of things about the share screen that I like to do is to have a number of screens open and just simply minimize and maximize them as you require them. Okay, so I keep them just down the bottom of the screen. I'll give you for instance, if I was going to use a video, so share a doc, I've got a video here on DNA, that's the one I want to use. There it goes, so it's loading it now. But if I wanted to use that, then I can simply have that loaded, ready to go. You can see it takes it's going to take 30 seconds or something to load that up, so it's ready to go. And that 30 seconds is valuable time, not just valuable teaching time, but also to keep the students engaged. So it's much better if you have that ready to roll.
The burglar smashed a window, leaving blood on the broken glass. Samples of blood, hair or skin can be collected from a crime scene. Forensic scientists investigate the samples in a
All right. Sorry, I've got my recording button over the pause button for the video, so I had to change that around. But this is share 5, so I can go to share 5 and say, okay, well, I want to hide it. I can hide it, or I can just simply change its size. It's a little bit finicky there, getting the change the size around, so I can just hide it down the bottom here, and that can have anything in it. And then once that's down there, at any stage, I can just simply go, oh yeah, actually I want to maximize that, bang, and it's back. Okay, so that's the advantage of having the pods open or closed at any stage. Also, if I hide it, then I'll find it when I go up to layouts and go into share, just in here, there it is again, and bang, it's open, all right? And what I want to do is just make that smaller. It's making a liar out of me at the moment. Doesn't want to play. Add new share. Yeah, there we go. And this is share 6. Okay. All right. So that's that one. Pods are really cool. There's lots that you can do with pods. We can have a notes screen. So you can add, so I've got some notes there I can just bring up, and that could be existing notes, whatever I want to have in there. That could be my notes for the lesson that I need to refer to, or it could be notes that we can write down with the students actually in real time. The advantage of that is down here in the chat screen, you can see when the students are typing, but you can't actually see what they're typing. So there's sometimes a bit of an advantage to have a look at, as they're typing it through, you kind of go, oh yeah, that question, yeah, okay, great. I think I know what you're talking about now. You can just save a little bit of time and give a bit more of a flow to the lesson. So that's notes. And any time you want to get rid of anything, you just go hide. Okay. So attendees is just this, is this pod here. Video is the one with my big head in it. And then chat is this pod down here. Poll I really like. I've set up one here for our school motto, as we used during our lesson at the Twilight Retreat. And you can use that in real time, and as soon as you you can edit it, you can open it for the students to have a go at. You can use that at the top of the lesson. There's a bit of flip learning. You can use it during the lesson, just kind of break the lesson up and see how they're going, see if they're actually remembering the stuff. Yeah, and again, at any stage, you can just go hide that one, and it puts it away. Okay, so that's poll. Q&A is another one you can use for question and answer in real time. Moving and resize pods and managing pods. Yep, they're all possibilities. One thing I neglected to say to you at the beginning of the lesson is we need to record all our sessions. Okay, so that's just a matter of hitting record. And then if you can put in something that actually relates directly to the lesson. So, because remember, you're going to need to find this. Now, it's true it does have a date on it, but you might have taught a number of lessons on that date, or you might necessarily remember the date if it's a month or so afterwards. So Adobe lesson, we call week 5. Simple as that. I don't normally put a summary in there, but you certainly can. And when you press OK, then that's what it's going to record it at. And so at the moment, it's recording the lesson. So I'll just press stop recording. Yeah. And then once it's stopped recording, then you can go to managing meeting information to find that recording. And it's asking me to access, and that's all fine. And this is my classroom. My recordings are right here. And if I go to Adobe Week 5, there it is. Just simply copy the link, and I'm going to paste that directly into Moodle. So I won't go to Moodle during this recorded session, but in Moodle, you just simply hit the edit button and add it as a hyperlink. And then I would also, make it really obvious that that's actually a recorded lesson for the students. Yeah, so that's a really important part. All right, now, is it going to let me go back to my session? I don't think so. That's all right. Look, we're going to finish the session here. Thanks very much for listening in. And if you have any questions, please feel free to grab me at any stage.